That was really weird. Okay, so I said good morning and then there was an error showing that it was trying to reconnect. Hopefully everybody's live right now. Good morning, my name is Karen Kong. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and welcome to my This or That Thursday. Every week I try to post 2 cards to my group and I ask my community to choose a card for me to make live on Thursday mornings at 9, and this was the winner this week. So I only show a sneak peek of part of the card. I thought that would be something different this year and to change things up and make it a little bit more mysterious. And hopefully you're finding it fun too. So I'm just going to get my computers up and running so I can see all your comments while we're crafting. If you are joining for the first time or for the 1000th time, I would appreciate it if you say hi and tell me where you're watching from and ask questions, join in the conversation, because it's more fun when we craft together. Good morning, Sandra. Okay, just a second. Just getting my video feed up. All right. It is up. All right, so let's switch over to my desktop. So if you're watching, just close your eyes while I mount my phone over my desk, okay? Just a second. So I've been using a lot of my stash in combination with newer products, but primarily I'm trying to use up what I have, and I hope that it encourages you to use what you have as well. So I don't know if you have this paper, but this is the silver and gold 6x6" specialty DSP that was, I think it was a Sale-A-Bration freebie from a couple years ago. And I always loved this pattern because there's like gold and silver, but I never used it very often. I couldn't figure out how to use it. And then I realized that this kind of wavy line reminded me of the Soft Waves 3D embossing folder. So that's why I put them together for this card. So I did promise a trick that I learned. I was wanting to put stars on the front of this card, and it occurred to me after many experiments with other stars, and I'll show you, I have lots and lots of stars, that I wanted something 3D. I wanted something to be more 3D, and so I searched the internet for some ideas, and I found Michelle Last in the UK who made this 3D star, and I really loved how it turned out. It was pretty easy to make, so I will show you how to do that. Yeah, the Softways embossing folder, Sandra, I didn't think I really needed it because I have the So Swirly folder, which is a similar idea, but they are skinnier skinnier embossing. And I'm finding that I'm using the Soft Waves one more than I am the other one, but I guess it just depends, you know, what stamp set you're using it with or what look you're going for, but I have to say that this has been pretty useful. So it's a pretty easy card, but let's get started, and I'll just make some room on my desktop for everything we're gonna need. Oh, shall I show you the alternate card? I'm sure you want to take a peek. I will post it later, but I made a second version of the accordion pocket fun fold. So this is the other version from last that I made this week. Same fold as last week. It's got this little insert here. And it was fun. It's a great way to show off a DSP set, right? You can make any combination that you want. And I used it with the branching out frame dies. So I really like how this one turned out as well. And I always thought that I would save the back for writing the sentiments and the greetings or whatever. So I will add white to the back of that. But here's the final card. I will post more pictures later. And let's bring in the paper trimmer and we'll cut the card base and do some embossing, okay? So So it's just a plain white card base, regular size. So it's going to be half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So I'm just going to cut it at 5.5 inches on the long side. And if you don't have this paper trimmer, I looked at it last night and it was on low inventory. So the Black Friday sale is going on right now. And you can get this trimmer for, I think it's like $23.50, which is a really good price. And I've told you before, if you haven't heard me say it, this is the best trimmer because I have like 3 other trimmers that I don't use anymore because this one has the markings right on here, all the measurements you need. It has a scoring blade right on there, which I don't need to take off when I use it because it moves out of the way. And yeah, so many great features on this trimmer. Oh, and the other one I really like is that I can cut really small pieces of paper because it has guides right to almost the cutting line. So it helps to hold the piece of paper there. And I can't do that with any of my other trimmers. So this is the only one that can do it. And it is so great. Hi, Shali. Good morning. So yeah, if you don't have this trimmer, you're going to want to get it on sale because it is the most imperative basic staple that you can have in your crafting kit. Okay, so I'm going to cut this sheet of paper in half at 5.5 inches. And I'm going to score it the other way in half at 4.25. Okay, so that's it for that piece. And then I'm going to take another piece. So I'm going to take a piece of white separately to emboss and then glue on top of my card base. Okay, so I'm just going to take the other half and we will cut this one in half at 4.25. Okay, so we will emboss that shortly. And I'm also going to cut the pieces here. So the gold DSP, sorry, the gold matte, and then the DSP. Okay, so the gold is from my stash. Oh, I didn't take a piece out. Let's see if I can find one that's almost the right size. I have a couple pieces here. Let's just see if they are, one of them is right size or not. So if you have not watched before, I always write down my measurements in the video description afterwards. So don't worry about writing things down. I will make those available. So the gold mat is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. I'm just going to double check. This is 4.25 almost, and 3.5. So let's just double check this one. This one is 4. Okay, so let's not use that one. We'll use this one. So this one I need it to be 4 1/8. Okay, so each tick mark on the ruler is a 1/16. Okay, so 1/8 is 2/16. And this needs to be, I'm double checking my measurements, 2 7/8 over here. Okay, and then I need the DSP here. So this is the other half of paper that the sheet of paper that I used. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be 3 inches wide. I need mine to be 2 3/4 by 4. So let's cut it down to 4 inches right away. And 2 3/4. All right. I also need a 3 by 3 piece of paper for my star. Let me see if I have a smaller piece somewhere. No, I think I have to cut this one. Okay, so let's cut this 3 inches wide and we'll go with that. Okay. So that will be for our star. I'm going to put this away and we're going to emboss the emboss the mat. Okay. Let's bring in my cut and emboss machine. So I need the large size one because this is a 3D embossing folder. It won't go through the mini cut and emboss machine. So here's the 3D embossing folder, and I want my pattern to go sideways. Oh, good morning, Janice. Thank you for joining in. And I'm going to put this this way because I want it to be a horizontal embossing pattern. Okay, so let's put this through. Okay, and I need to cut a star. So this is the star we are cutting. I have to find the right size. So this is from the So Many Stars set, and it's been long retired. I don't know when this one was released, but let's just try and find the right size. I think this is the right one. Yeah, that looks like the right one. Okay. Oh, and I need my cutting plates. Okay. And let's put that through. Okay, I think that's all I need this for, and I can put this away and we can continue. Okay, let's do a little bit of assembly so that I don't lose all my pieces. It'll clean things up a little bit too if I put things together. So I'm thinking that I hopefully have enough Christmas cards by now. I'm gonna have to start writing my Christmas cards soon, and then I'll figure out if I have enough. Okay, I'm just gonna glue the embossed mat down. Oh. Okay, has anybody started writing their Christmas cards? Are you that ahead of me? Because it's not even December. I mean, we're coming up to December, and it's getting close to having to send those out. I feel like I'm ahead of the game this year because I have our family pictures printed already, but I have not written our annual newsletter. Hi, Tara. Okay, I don't feel so bad. Shali's Shali hasn't started making. I mean, I've got Christmas cards made, but I usually like to make some special ones for family members, so I haven't done any of those. So that's what we're making, Tara. And the trick I'm going to show is how to make this star. As soon as I actually, I'm going to wait. I was going to assemble this, but then I thought I want to do the embossing. So that word is stamped on and embossed. I had played with, if you'd watched my stories, I actually want this to be used as a congratulations card, and I thought I would use this sentiment originally, but I put them on and I compared, you know, each one of them in different colors. I have Night of Navy, I have black, I have white, white embossing, gold embossing, and I just wasn't happy with any of them until I finally just decided I'm going to put the word joy, and it will be a congratulations card for somebody. So yeah, that's what I was like working on last night and could not decide what to do. Okay, so I want to show you how to make this star. Okay, we'll do the embossing afterwards because the star's fun. It's pretty simple. I gotta bring my scoring tool back for this. Oh, Sandra, you haven't printed your family picture? You're usually ahead of me. I feel like I'm like doing well then. Okay, so Janice says she has seaside textured impressions. Oh, I don't know that one. And oh, you've sent some calendars to your daughter in Saskatoon. Wonderful. Okay, so here's the star. I just cut out a star from the So Many Stars die set. And what we're going to do is we're going to add scoring from the tip to the middle on every single side. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it round and round until I have scored all the way around. Okay, so I'm just going to line up my tip of my one end of the star, and I'm lining up the middle. Okay, and I'm going to score. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it. So I line up this tip and the middle above it, the opposite middle, between two, I don't know, two, what's the word for the end of the star? You guys tell me. Okay, and then I have to rotate again. So I'm just doing this all the way around until I have scored every single star tip. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make special Christmas cards for my family members this year because there's just too much else going on. I do have special photo albums that I want to finish as gifts for this Christmas, so that has to be done. Okay, so if you can see, the star is all scored all the way around. Okay, so that was pretty easy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold up along each end of the star. Please, somebody tell me, what is this part called? We're going to fold along the score line, and I'm mainly concentrating on the pointy end. Okay, so I'm just going to take my bone folder and fold it down, and we'll do that for every single side. So this star will make it difficult to send this card through the mail. So this is actually going to be hand delivered to a friend of mine. But yes, it won't. This one will not make it through the mail. One of those sorting machines would just probably crush it flat. But I do love how it looks. Okay, so I'm just doing it for every single point here. Let me just make sure it's... Okay, so I've done every single point, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold them, kind of push them in, right? So these short fold lines should all fold down, whereas the long fold lines, score lines, should fold up. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and do that. And that makes a 3D star. I love how that looks. Okay, so the next thing I did was to emboss this with the word joy. And then I'll show you how to mount that star onto the card after we've got the rest of our pieces ready. So let me find... the stamp. Okay, so this is from the Brightest Glow. It is retired. Oh, I know where it is. I was just looking for the stamp and it's not on in the case. It's actually on my Stamparatus because I wanted to position my star and know how much room I had before I emboss it on the word. Okay, so let me just grab a piece of scrap for the embossing powder and my embossing powder itself. I have tons of gold embossing powder that is not Stampin' Up because I did it. I used a lot of it when I was creating my wedding invitations like over 20 years ago, and I still have some. Okay, so let me just double check this is in the right spot. So that is where I just want to leave enough room for my star. Yeah, that's the right spot that I had it in. Okay, great. So I'm going to stamp it in Versamark. I'm glad you like the star. I thought this was a great trick that I saw from Michelle Last in the UK. And as soon as I saw it, I knew that's what I wanted for my card. And I'll show you after in a second. I'm trying to find a flat spot to put my my panel on so I can ink it properly. All the stars that I tried before I finally settled on just using the one. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's quickly get this embossed. So you can see I've used this scrap paper lots of times. A little bit more at the end here. Oops, that's reality crafting for you. Nothing like dropping it into the embossing powder. Okay, I think that looks good. Now I've got some embossing powder on my table. Just give me a sec. I actually brought out the embossing buddy to make sure it didn't stick to the paper, but did I use it? I always forget. All right. I'm going to bring in my heat gun now, so it's going to be a little bit noisy. Just a second. So I like to let the heat gun kind of heat up first for a few seconds because I don't like it blowing onto my paper too long, because if you leave the heat gun on the paper too long, it will burn it and it will turn brown. So I'm going to let it run for a few seconds before I actually heat the embossing powder, okay? Just like magic. Embossing is so pretty. All right, so now we can put this together. Oh, I think I just stuck my thumb in it. See what I said about reality crafting? Okay, so there's an easy fix for this. I stuck my thumb and there's a little bit of impression of my thumb in the embossing because it was still soft when I accidentally touched it. All I need to do is take the heat gun and I'll just melt it again. Easy peasy fix. Okay, so I'm just going to let that cool. Yes, I do love the star. Actually, as you know, Google is a great tool. Okay, so let's put some Stampin' Seal here. And because the paper kind of it's like a little bit warped because I heated it, I'm going to make sure I put enough adhesive right behind it so that it lies flat when I stick it to the gold. So I'm going to put a little bit of extra adhesive right there just so that it will lie flat when I put it onto the matting. Oh, Janice, there's lots of time now. You you still have time. You can try that idea of yours with the stars and show us how that turns out. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit more here. All right, so let's stick this on. So my measurements will give you a 1/16 of an inch border on this DSP. So with a 1/16 of an inch border, you've got a little bit less play for making it straight. So that's why I took a little bit of extra time. And oh, I could have used a little bit more adhesive behind here. See how it's lifting just a tiny bit there? Anyways, let's go forward. Let's get that one out of the way. Okay, so all I'm doing is I am going to mount this on dimensionals to give it a little bit of extra height. Not that it needs it, but it looks pretty. And like I said, you're going to have to hand deliver this card because it will not survive Canada Post sorting machines. Let's take off all the backings. And I'm just going to center this. Oh, I can see it's a little bit too high. Okay, so the way I mounted this star is I actually stuck a bunch of dimensionals and stacked them. Okay, so I have the little ones, which for the tips I cut into half. So I'm going to take one mini dimensional and I'm just going to cut it in half. The backing came off. And I'm going to stick it right close to the tip as I can. And then for the middle one, we're going to take two big dimensionals and I'm going to stack them and I'm going to cut them in half as well. And I'm going to stack them up. So we have a layer of 4 holding up the middle. Oops. All right. So now I'm going to take the big ones. We're going to cut it in half because there's not a lot of room in the middle. I don't want to stick the whole thing down and accidentally flatten the top of my star, right? So I'm just cutting them in half and I just want to add some height. So I'm going to have to take off the backing here because I'm going to stack it. Okay, and then one more. Okay, so 4 of them is just high enough so that it can support the middle of this star and stick it to the paper. So I'm just going to take off the backings from the others. Okay, so we're ready to go. So I'm just going to take my tweezers and get my hands out of the way so I can place it and see what I'm doing. So, like this. I think I'll move it down just a tad. And that is the card. Really simple. I played with this for so long, which is why I posted late last night. You'll see, like, I made a whole pile of other stars. So I tried embossed ones and I tried different sizes. And I initially thought I was going to make, put 3 of them across, but I just couldn't make it work and it didn't look right. And I just ended up with just 1 star. And I think it looks great. I hope you enjoyed that. And you're in, if you have the star dies, you're set. You can do this quite easily and use them on your cards this year. I hope you're inspired and go and make some cards this week. So have a great week. I will see you next week. Have a great day.